though? My bad. What's happening? What's happening out there? Off top, I don't really know this particular YouTuber, but shout out to Tootie Uncensored. Make sure y'all go check out that YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe. Comment, get engaged. One of the top tubers out here that covers the Naziah Harris case, along with a list of others. I just say Naziah because I think that one really connected with a lot of us. But it's also a young lady's name, Janiyah. That's why I just want to keep it at the list, because I don't want to feel like I'm forgetting nobody. The young lady who lost their life out here in Ohio, because that's where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? When I giggle like that, I don't take it like I'm taking light of this. It just be blowing my mind, like. Getting back to my shout out to Two for keeping these young babies' names alive, keeping their stories heard. People keep getting people engaged, getting people aware of what's really going on out here with these babies. Now, Took did a number of reactions about the Naziah Harris case. So it kind of, I'm not gonna say it triggered me, but that's just the easiest word to use, like conspiracy theory. But I don't want to say triggered, but it brought me to want to just like reflect and give my little input on how I feel about certain things due to my personal experience with such things. So first and foremost, doing those reactions, I see they was talking about the grandmother of Naziah Harris by the name of Annette. I don't want to be saying her name like I know her. I just just following the story. And just I want to what I'm saying. That's it. The grandmother by the name of Annette. It seemed like doing a reaction. When Two was doing a reaction on her. Like when Annette would like, how can I put this? Would speak on the mother of Naziah Harris, which is her daughter, or even speak on Naziah, it's a bit of disconnect there. Like, she doesn't get referred to as my granddaughter, or the daughter don't necessarily always get referred to as her daughter, and that comes from the grandmother just not liking the mother. So unfortunately, that can be taken out on the granddaughter or grandchild or grandchildren as well. As a person who's personally experienced that, like when you like the black sheep, pretty much like in my case, like the Naziah Harris case, just remind me of the things I went through as a youngin', like so much, like that. I think like I don't know why so many things is just like so relatable, but when it comes to the Naziah Harris and the grandmother, the reason why that happens is because, like I said, the grandmother really didn't deal with the mother because the mother would be on drugs or whatever. And so a lot of times what happens is, once that mother, I'm not going to say she disowned it because I don't know the whole story, but just doing my personal experience, once that grandparent or whoever dismisses that child of theirs, anything that comes from that child, they kind of like dismiss as well. And I'm not saying it's right, but that's what happens. It's just sort of a disconnect there. I mean, in my case, it was told to me my mama was hard headed. She wouldn't listen. She wasn't this. She wasn't that. But it's like we here, you know. I mean, like, what about us? Like, we ain't never crossed you like that, you know. I mean, at the end of the day, without you, I don't have a mother. Without my mother, I don't have me. But this all started from you and before you and before you. But as far as I remember, is you. As far as what I know is you, which is my grandmother. You know what I'm saying? So without you, ain't no mama, ain't no me. So at the end of the day, I'm still a part of you. So I understand my mother may have done something, but I'm still here. And it's like, show me what's up. Or see how I'm listening. See how I didn't turn, by the grace of God, I didn't turn out like my mother. And things of that nature. But we don't know what type of relationship take place between the and we're just gonna keep it simple, between the grandmother and the mother. But once that disconnect takes place, somehow, some way, the offspring of her child, which is be her grandkids, they get dismissed as well. They don't get the same treatment as the rest of the children, the grandchildren, or even children. They don't get the same treatment. You're not really referred to as, my grandchild. I mean you will, but it's just not the same. And it's just like when you get adopted, or you get someone outside of the family takes guardianship of you, and you be brought into a family. A lot of families don't treat you differently. They take you in as if you one of them. But then it gets a little tricky, because you got some families who will take you in and they somewhat treat you like you one of them, but you still feel that y'all don't really rock with me like that. And you feel how you get treated a little differently. And it's like, you didn't ask me born. You didn't even ask them to take you in. But you're supposed to be appreciative because a parent left. And then it's like, since they took you in, you're supposed to just be appreciative and all that, which you may be. In my case, I am. But on top of that, I'm giving you grace for taking me in because my parent left. And I'm quite sure if Naziah Harris, if she was here or was able to tell her story, she would tell a little something like this. That, yeah, you took me in, but look how I was treated. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you go to school, you may participate in certain activities, may hang out with friends and all that, but when you get back home and you get around certain people of that family, things ain't right. You get treated a little differently, and you feel that. And people be feeling like, I think that's due to when your parent not there, and they feel like because they took you in, you supposed to just deal with whatever. And that's how Naziah Harris ended up in the situation she ended up in, to where a person, Jarvis Butts, I'm not saying his name like I know him, I'm just following the story. People like Jarvis Butts can creep into the, because they see all that. That, you want to call it staff or whatever he supposed to be, or uncle, whatever he supposed to be. They see all that. They see the disconnect. They see how you don't have your parents around, or none of your biological family is coming to save you. And then they look at and they see, and I know I spoke this in another video, but I want to say it again because of these recent events with these babies. I have already talked about them, the molestation, not just with, you know what I'm saying, but in general, how this thing goes. And here it is, now these current events is wielding in, and it's exactly what I said. You have that boyfriend, that stepfather, that uncle, that whatever, even in some cases, unfortunately, your own, those babies' own fathers, just whatever. But we gonna keep it at you was adopted, or you got guardianship, and then you got this outsider who's not your father, not your mother, not none of that. So they peep all that, and that's how they able to prey on the baby, because they see, oh, well, it seemed like y'all care, but I see that y'all really don't. they biological family not coming around to, you know, to do anything. So they already got that. You know how they got that meme that goes on? They got this meme that say, if ain't no sucker shit in you, son, no sucker shit come out of you. Well, you might hear predators talk like that because they really the sucker. Because they got sucker shit in them. That's how that sucker shit came out of them, to want to prey on that baby, because they sitting back watching, just looking for their chance to really, you know, get in and do what they do. So that's why a lot of that stuff take place, because of the disconnect with amongst the parents, amongst the family. Like I said, yeah, you might go to school, you might participate in activities, you might do all that, but at the same time, there is a disconnect, and you don't get treated like everybody else. So a lot of more, you know, things might take place with you that's pretty messed up, and that's how you end up with, unfortunately, Nazira Harris, and it's another young lady named Janiyah. And what's really crazy about these names, a lot of them sound so much alike, and it seemed like they all 13 years old. So something is a little crazy with that. It seemed like a little pattern with that, but that's neither here nor there. But I just thought I throw that out there so people can get a better understanding, because when it's a disconnect, you know what I'm saying, and you know, they say it takes a village, which you would think, okay, my mama wasn't there, or my father wasn't there, or whoever wasn't there, you'd think the village, okay, if they able to be there for you, they take you in with open arms. You know what I'm saying? I know it might, you know, get some getting used to, some adjustments might have to take place, and things like that. And that's fine, but it's still that disconnect, even with the whoever took you in. Because in their mind, they feel like you should just go with whatever, because we here with you. Your own parent abandoned you. So they just like whatever. It's like a bit of a forcing on you. And then here you are, you like, okay, my parent gone, they took me in, you all grateful, you all whatever, but you still get that emotional abuse. That sometimes emotional abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse, and don't forget sexual abuse. But all that takes place when the disconnect is there. And in this case, it wasn't like Naziyah was taken in by, you know, somebody outside the family. Her own grandmother took her in, and then the very worst happened. And now we can't even find this young lady. Which is crazy, because, you know, it's one thing to be molested. It's another thing to end up murdering or missing. You know, these babies out here dying because a lot of men are predators. And then, you know, me, as I get older, I even try to get in their psyche. But due to the heinous, I can't think of the word, due to how heinous, you know, the act is, it's like you don't even care what they've been through to make them grind. It's like, what will make you be like that? It's like you completely dismiss them. You need help. You a monster. You this, that, and the third, fourth, fifth, and more. You feel me? And I feel that, because it's kind of hard to like want to know why or what's wrong with this person or what happened to this person to make them just be a predator like that to a point. They do what they do to these babies. Unfortunately, getting them impregnated, impregnate them, want to hide it, can't hide it, don't want nobody to find out, so they resort to murdering and disregarding the body to a point where you can't even find these babies. So it's wicked out here, and that comes from the disconnect amongst the family. The predator is able to see that disconnect. A lot of times, I'm not saying this happened all the time, but with the Naziyah Harris case, that's exactly what happened. And these people be having histories of it, and they don't stop at nobody, not even their own kid. So it's like, it's wicked out here. But I guess what I want y'all to take from this is, people out there that's out there want to take babies in, do it wholeheartedly or don't do it at all. Like, they say the foster home are worse. In a lot of cases, they can be. So you like, okay, you come with me, and we go from there. You know what I'm saying? You come with me, I take you in, I'm gonna take care of you. You gonna be alright, right? But then you got those who take you in solely because they know there's some money there. And so you just gotta do whatever. And then, you know, you think, okay, that baby didn't go to foster home. They went to this home that's a little bit more, they know these people more, or whatever, whatever. And even then, the absolute worst still happens because of the disconnect and who you have around. So, my bad. I just get. I gotta get off real quick. But I'm gonna come with a part two. I love y'all. I hope y'all really understand where I'm coming from. I'm trying not to cuss and try not to, you know what I'm saying, but still give y'all something to think about on why a lot of these things take place, just due to my own experience. But I'm gonna come with a part two. Just stay tuned with me. I know I don't always come right away, but just stay tuned. And I got y'all. Like, share, subscribe. Tell me about how you feel about this subject in the comments, and I greatly appreciate it.